That initial positive test came in on July 5th. That's when Mohegan activated their contact tracing and isolation protocols. They say their quick reaction helped contain the spread.
In this case, how it worked out was exactly how we wanted it to.
Keeping guests and employees safe at Mohegan Sun has been the goal since the casino's reopening on June 1st. Their contact tracing and isolation protocols were recently put to the test when they found out one of their employees tested positive for COVID-19.
There was 4 close contacts, people that carpool, or have close personal relationships with this team member.
The team member tested positive for the virus on July 5th. Of those 4 close contacts who were asked to self-quarantine, 2 of them tested positive.
The team member that drove this other team member to the hospital and was caring for him tested positive, and then that team member's roommate.
Mohegan Sun's contact tracing protocol used surveillance to help determine close contact with an infected. They require testing and tracing for anyone who comes within 6 feet of the individual for at least 10 minutes. The CDC recommends testing at 15 minutes. Over 20 other employees who were determined to be in close contact with the individuals were asked to self-quarantine. All their tests came back negative. Mohegan Sun says no guests were affected.
If we did, we would have worked to, try to identify them and then, reach out and contact with them.
Governor Ned Lamont was initially nervous when the tribal nations agreed to reopen on June 1st. Since then, his feelings have changed.
I was really concerned having a lot of older people in enclosed space gambling at the casinos when they did. And a little hats off to both of the casinos. They've had they've been following the protocol strictly.
Mohegan Sun says 2 of the 3 who tested positive are back at work. The 3rd remains home recovering. They say they have no reported active cases amongst employees.
Everyone seems to be bought in and following the protocol. We're wearing masks, we're doing the temperature checks.
Mohegan Sun says all of those impacted were paid for their lost time. We also reached out to Foxwoods to see if they have had any positive tests, and they say to their knowledge they haven't had any employees who have tested positive, but they are prepared in case the situation ever arises. In Uncasville, Dave Puglisi, Fox 61 News.